Today it's about lithium. I'm sitting here with the CEO of what's estimated one of the biggest, or one of the five biggest lithium deposits in the world. That's Alicia Milne of Q2 Metals. Hi, welcome.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining. And yeah, let's talk lithium. So we've seen the lithium price increase in the last year. So it seems we are bouncing really off the bottom here. Is this a
Mhm.
sustainable move? What's your perspective on the lithium market?
Uh, I think so. I hope so for our sake, but I think so. The conversation about lithium is always, sort of focused on electric vehicles. That's been a lot of the talk of the last, say, 3, 4, even longer, 5 years. It's all about electric vehicles and lithium going into the batteries for electric vehicles, but I think that conversation's changed. And I think it's more about the battery storage systems that are now coming to the forefront of how much lithium is needed for these battery storage systems. And essentially that would be, powering all of the AI, all of the chat GPT that people are using these days.
Yeah.
The data centers, they need to have a constant source of electricity. And if you don't have the grid system that can handle that much electricity that's needed, you need to have, an alternate or a backup to help smooth out the flow of the energy. So I think that's going to be a big part of the conversation in the next year, maybe even 2, 3 years. And even with solar, like a lot of places, a lot of countries are using solar battery systems or solar systems. You need to store that energy somewhere. So, it's more about the battery storage and the larger battery storage is what I'm seeing.
And how is supply side developing? So I remember from the first lithium cycle that the hard rock deposit went into production first. Everybody was looking for the brine. So where do we stand now? Is there enough lithium going forward?
Yeah, I think there is definitely enough lithium going forward. I think the supply that you see coming out of China is slightly restricted, or you see a lot of the mines in China coming offline, or there's no clarity on what's actually coming out of China. It's a bit of a gray area. So, I think at the end of the day, there's lithium coming out of Australia, there's brines coming out of South America. There's nothing in North America really. There's, I think, one producing lithium mine in North America. So, you know, I think the conversation is still there. I think there is supply. There's lots of lithium in the world. It's just a matter of it getting mined and processed.
Yeah.
And for the most part, all your processing seems to get done in China or in Asia.
All right. I've said it in my introduction. Q2 Metals has been recently, like by Canaccord, by the analysts, estimated to be like a really global relevant top lithium deposit. We don't have a mineral resource estimate and like further down PEA and so on yet. But if that proves right, yeah, it could be like a really significant deposit that you are developing. Could you tell us a bit more about the story? Where have you, what is Q2 Metals doing, and what did you do, let's say, over the past year to develop what you have now?
Yeah, so we acquired this project in February of 2024. So it's just been 2 years literally this month that we got the project. We did a small drill program in 2024, which is what we started hitting these wide intervals of spodumene pegmatite. And then we got back out there last 2025, last year, and actually hit it a lot harder, drilled a lot more than we had drilled the year before. So just continuing to prove up these large, wide intercepts of spodumene, of lithium, if you will. What we did to sort of be able to speak a little bit better about what we were seeing coming out of the ground was we put an exploration target out, and that was in July last year. So that was based on the first 40 holes for 16,000 meters. And as you said before, it's a conceptual estimate of what is in the ground, prepared by a third party. So they came up with an estimate of 215 million tons to 329 million tons at a grade of, I think the range was 1 to 1.38% lithium oxide. And globally speaking, at the low end of that exploration target, the 250 million tons would rank Cisco in the top 10 of world's largest hard rock lithium deposits. I think if you get to the top range of that estimate, the 329 million tons, that would rank Cisco as I think number five. So, even at the low end, conceptually speaking, it's a large system, it's a large deposit. So that is what the work's been on this past 6 months or so, is to do a lot more infill drilling so that we can get that mineral resource estimate out there to the public to actually, you know, hit the milestone and get the numbers published as to what is actually there.
Yes, and a lot of institutional investor demand will follow that probably, yeah, because yeah,
Yeah,
people are
let's
looking
hope.
for world-class deposits, yeah.
Exactly.
And you also have nice grades. It's not just strike length and
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
uh,
So, it's shaping up to be this large sort of system, large body under the ground, with consistent grade, and it's holding together quite nicely. So, yeah.
yeah. What's the plan for next year? What's the
For next
company's
year,
plan?
so we're actually out there drilling right now. So we ended the year with 4 drill rigs turning just to continue to infill drill in the main mineralized zone that we've outlined. The plan right now is we're out there drilling, and it's to continue to infill drill, to tighten up the drill spacing. Right now we're at about 120-meter drill spacing, and we need to get it tighter so that eventually later on in 2026 we can issue a preliminary economic assessment. So the first milestone this year will be in the next couple weeks, will be the mineral resource estimate, which will be all inferred. And
Mm.
then we've already started working on the PEA, the economic assessment, preliminary economic assessment, and that'll be in the later half of 2026. So just tightening it up, further defining what it actually looks like, and then being able to wrap economics around that.
Okay. Can we briefly discuss the financial situation of the company? Are
For
you fully
sure.
funded for the drilling?
Yes. So last August, we did a financing. We raised $26 million on a charity flow-through basis, which in Canada, flow-through means that you need to spend it directly into exploration work, which allowed us to, accelerate what we were doing. That's why we have 4 drill rigs turning, because you actually have only 2 years to spend that money because it's flow-through. So currently, we have cash on hand of about $17 million. Of that 17 million, there's about 15 million of that is flow through. So that is money that needs to be spent this year directly into exploration. We also have warrants there in the money. So there's about $5 million worth of warrants that were issued in 2024. When we first got the project, they expire this year. They expire in July. So we expect that money to be coming in. They're priced at 50 cents, and our current share price is over $2. So
Yeah.
we have some pretty happy shareholders out there right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, cashed up already. And as I said, the institutional investors, they usually get in like a bit later when it's more proven. Yeah. And the speculators and maybe also some savvy investors in our audience can have a look at this story because it's right now, and this is leading us to the investment case. It's right now valued a bit above 400 million Canadian dollars. Yeah, and that's of course a lot of estimation already priced in that this
Mhm.
is a big deposit. Yeah, but if this is really going to be proven to be like a top five deposit in the world, and that's my personal view on it, you see all the other companies rated in the billions. Yeah, so that's my investment case. How would you sell it? What's it for you?
You know, depending on what our resource estimate comes out at, which I don't have any doubt that it's going to come in around that range of the exploration target.
Mm,
Um, I feel it's a very strategic deposit based on where we are in Quebec, in a safe jurisdiction. We're just 150 kilometers north of the railhead to then be able to put our product on the rail to ship it down to the ports in Montreal or Quebec, or even to there's a processing hub in Bécancour in Quebec, which has a lot of the end users have facilities down there to do conversion. I think it'll be seen as a strategic asset, and it's going to be large. So, I think that is definitely the investment case, is that we're the closest ones to infrastructure, and we're going to be, potentially the largest ones.
awesome. Thank you very much. Something else you would like to add for investors looking at the story for the first time?
Just that we have a lot of near-term catalysts coming. We have our resource estimate, which we hope to publish in the next couple weeks, followed by PEA later on in the year. We're actively drilling, so we'll have assays coming. And we're doing not necessarily just infill drilling of that main zone, but we're also stepping out a bit because there's a few instances where we hit spodumene outside of where we thought we were going to hit it. So, there's a lot of potential to be had at Cisco. And yeah, it's going to be a busy year for us, 2026. Exciting, but also really, really busy.
Okay, wonderful closing statement. Thank you very much. Alicia Milne of
Thank you.
Q2 Metals. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.